How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Deathgiver, bringing you another Pokemon TCG video. This time bringing you something different, as I've had some friends that have inquired about joining the game and kind of want to know where to start and what to do when you start off playing the game. So this is going to be more of a tutorial on starting the game than actual match itself today, like my normal, which is a ranked match video. Before we keep going, if you please could like and subscribe to the video. Trying to get to 15 subscribers by the end of the month, you'd be much appreciated. Okay, so to start out with the game, the most important thing to pretty much look at is to start with what deck you're going with. My friend who'd been playing way before me was trying to get me into the game back when Lugia was pretty big, and because he knew I loved Lugia. As I said in my Charizard I Choose You video, my top 3 favorite Pokemon all time is Mewtwo, Lugia, Charizard. So I didn't get in with Lugia. I thought about it, but then he told me that the new Charizard card was coming out and it was going to be pretty good, and then he sent me a picture of it, which is this card right here. I saw it, I fell in love with it, and I was like, I gotta play it. So I decided to come back to the game, and of course with me going with Charizard, which is a fire deck, I broke down this Arcanine EX deck to turn it into the fire deck, to evolve it into the fire deck that I actually play now. They do have some base decks for you to start off with. Arcanine, I wouldn't recommend unless you're going to turn it into a Charizard deck. It's not a good deck, but it was a good foundation for my deck, as this was the original one, which as you can see Arcanine's in it, and you had Entei, add Entei. You just kind of build up to it to where you just add more cards. As you can see from the original, you have the Charizard line in it, you have the Arcanines, and then you have 2 pretty much throwaway cards. The Bidoof is what helps the deck do its draw mechanic, so you want to kind of keep that, and then you have the trainer cards. Rare Candy is great. I use that all the time in my decks now for the Evolve Charmander and the Charizard, Evolve Pidgeot and the Pidgey and the Pidgeot. So some of these cards you're not going to get rid of. You're still going to use them even once your deck is fully done. I love Boss's Orders. I still use that. But the decks that you pretty much start off with in the game that you can use is Arcanine, Giratina V-Star, Koraidon, Origin Form Palkia, and looks like Origin Form Dialga. I would recommend, I think, and it's completely up because of my matchup, Giratina V-Star is the best deck to start with. Lost Zone is a heck of a strong deck, and I mean it's got a lot of the cards that you need already in the deck. I mean you can take this into ranked match right now and do some damage. You might not win until you learn the deck. I think it's one of the more complicated decks, but I mean it's a powerful deck. This base version is already powerful, and then you just, as you unlock more packs, I would recommend, if you're willing to spend a little bit of money, buy the battle pass to get more packs that way, and just battle and learn the deck. And I mean this deck, it's great. Koraidon, I've fought a few of them. I don't think it's that strong of a deck. I think it's a B tier deck, whereas Giratina is an A tier deck. It's gonna get you some wins. Depends on the matchup. You're gonna probably lose, but it's not a bad deck to start out with. Like I said, Arcanine, I wouldn't recommend this deck. I immediately, because I had, as you can see at the top, there's currency up here. I had enough currency to go in and buy Charizard. With Charizard, go to edit deck. With Charizard, in exchange for him, it's 600 of these rainbow colored coins. Once you get to 600, I'd start throwing Charizard in this. If you're gonna go with the fire deck, Charizard is one of the stronger decks in the game. I'd say probably behind Giratina, Lost Zone, and Chien-Pao. The deck that once you get up to 600 purple crystals. I would highly recommend buying this deck and starting that deck. Water has great support, but I mean, like I said, I started the deck. The best thing to do once you pick your deck is to go into a test deck. I would not take it versus a human person. First thing off the bat, you're going to get destroyed in your first match. You don't know how the deck works, you don't know what to really do, so you're going to want to test it, kind of take it up against the computer. The computer has decent decks. Sometimes they have good ones, sometimes they have bad ones. I'm taking the Arcanine deck in because obviously you're not going to have Charizard right off the jump when you go in. First thing into a match is the coin flip. Obviously it's self-explanatory. You flip a coin to see who goes first. This deck, I can't remember. I think you want to go first. Most of the time you pretty much want to go first. And then, as you see, your hand, you want to have a basic Pokemon in it to put out on the field. If you do not get a basic Pokemon, then it's a mulligan. Your hand goes back to the deck, gets shuffled, and then your opponent gets to draw a card to the number of turns on how many times you mulligan. So, I mean, the most I've done is I've gotten 5 cards off of someone mulliganing 5 times, which really helps your opponent. These are the prize cards over here, so as you knock out their Pokemon, you get to pull from the prize card pile here. Your deck is here, your discard pile is here. And then, obviously, on your turn, you're wanting to do, your energy goes on your Pokemon, which as you can see, your Pokemon has different attack costs. This one is a 1 cost attack, this one is 3, so you're going to need 3 of these energy cards here to put on that attack to be able to use it. Right now I can use Stoke, which searches my deck for fire energy to add to Growlithe, which is not a bad attack, but for the most part you're wanting to get through your deck as much as possible, and for a 60 card deck you want to get in. So like with the Nest Ball, it allows you to get any basic Pokemon from your deck and add it to your bench. For this one, I want Bidoof because for this deck you want to get the draw mechanic going, and Bidoof is that way of getting that draw mechanic going. You're wanting to try to get to Bibarel, and then there's nothing else I can do. Just use Stoke to get to kind of use it to thin my deck. And as you can see with Stoke, I put the 1 card on, got the 3 energy on him, so now next turn I'll be able to use my Fire Claws, which is a 70 attack. And as you can see, my opponent is powering up his Pokemon. I've never seen this deck before, so I can't really give you any insight on it. Of course he would. Boss's Order is a great card to switch out. So he's stopping me from being able to attack next turn. But actually he won't be able to do that. I'm going to get rid of that. What does this card do? I don't play that card. Yeah. I don't feel like I need that. I'm going to get my draw mechanic going. So, to evolve a Pokemon, you can't evolve at the same turn you put it on your bench. It has to evolve the next turn. That's why I use Rare Candy, because with Charizard, he's a 3-stage. So you would put Charmander on your bench, you would evolve him into Charmander in the next turn, and then you would evolve him into Charizard the turn after that. Where with the Rare Candy, it's Charmander on your bench, Rare Candy and the Charizard, and you got a Charizard on turn 2 instead of on turn 3. Training card. I don't want to do that yet. This allows you to move a energy card from your discard pile into your hand. With Bibarel, you want to get as few cards in your hand as possible to be able to draw back up to 5. So I'm going to drop my cards to get my hands to 0 so I can draw 5 cards with Bibarel's ability. So now I got a fresh new hand. And then now I'm going to use this ability to get my fire energy back into my hand. Arven's a great card. It allows you to get an item and a tool Most of the time with Arvin, when I use him, I'm getting my rare candy, and I run Choice Belt, so I would be getting Choice Belt at this time. But I don't have Charmander. Actually, I want Ultra Ball, because with this deck, with it being an Arcanine deck, you're wanting to get Arcanine out on the field because that's your boss monster. So you want to get a monster out on the field that does the most damage. So I'm going to use Ultra Ball, get rid of the experience share, get rid of Kira. Actually, we'll keep Kira. I'm going to get rid of one of the energy. And I'm going to go in and get Arcanine, which now you have your boss monster on the field. And since he's already been out in play, I can evolve him the same turn. You can evolve as many Pokemon in one turn as you can, as long as they're able to be evolved. And then now I'm going to attack. As you can see, he does 250 damage. Yeah. So he will knock out this Pokemon. Unfortunately, with his ability, you lose 2 fire energy, so you'll go from there, and then you get your prize card. I always pick 3. 3 is my lucky number. Obviously, with this card, it is not a good card. At this point, I don't really need it. And then my goal is to build back up to 3, so I can one-shot his Articuno. And then, but eventually, I want to go after this Golbat, because this Golbat gives me 2 prize cards if I knock it out, where these basic cards give me only 1. So the good thing about taking damage with Arcanine is that I no longer really need the 3 energy at 2, and now I can do 150, which obviously can knock out this Articuno. The more damage that Arcanine takes, the more damage he does on his Raging Claws. That was the reason why I ran him for a while, because he was a great monster to pair with Charizard in the beginning. So now all I need is 2 energy. And then I'm just going to play this support card. You can only play 1 support card per turn. So you have to be very selective on what you use for your support, because there's a lot of great support cards. Item cards, you can play as many per turn as you have in your hand. As you can see, Escape Rope and Ultra Ball are both item cards. You can play those infinite amount of times. As long as you have them in your hands, you can play them. So there's not really much I can do here, because I don't. You know what? I'm going to go get a Charmander from my deck. 1, to thin the deck. 2, because I have Charmeleon in my hand. I can evolve Charmander next turn into Charmeleon. So, and then obviously my hand is under 5, so now I can use Bidoo's special ability, and it gets me to where I have 5 cards in my hand. This is usually it's a stadium card. Stadium cards go where this stadium card is here. You can only have 1 stadium card in play for both players at one time. I actually like Training Court, so I'm not going to throw my stadium card to get rid of Training Court. I want it to stay. So this will probably be discard fodder. Discard fodder is, as you see with Ultra Ball, you have to discard a card every time you want to use it. So this would be a good card to use to discard for that. Alright, let me attack. Yeah, at this point, I usually just get 1 random prize card. Not very useful, but... So, for the most part, you're wanting to kind of get an idea of what moves you want to do next. If I had the ability to get boss's orders, I'd really like to get boss's orders and take out this Golbat before it gets going. Right now, it's going to get to the point to where I'm just going to 1 card until hopefully victory. But, let's see. I really want to start building up. I'm going to start putting energy on you. You want to get another backup, because if he gets taken out, you want to have a backup in play to be able to start attacking as soon as the other one hits the field. You don't want to have it to where you're waiting to build up another Pokemon while they're getting set up. I'm going to do Vidus, draw to 5. And then I'm going to do training court, to get 1 energy back. And I attack. And then, as discussed, these are your prize cards. Once you get down to 0 prize cards left, you win. Once your opponent gets down to 0 prize cards left, they win. Or, there's another win condition. If they run out of Pokemon on their bench, like if this was their last Pokemon and I took it out and there was no more on their bench, even if I still had 2 prize cards, I still win. I wish I could switch. Escape Rope is a great card right now. I'd be able to switch out Arcanine, and they would be forced to put in Golbat, but I would need to be able to switch Arcanine back in. Boss's Orders works better, because I would be able to just switch this Golbat in. Because right now, Arcanine can do 180 damage, which would one-shot this Golbat. Let's continue building up Charmeleon. And there's not really anything else I can play from my hand, so I'm just going to attack. Get another prize card. Hopefully the prize cards help. Another Arcanine. That would help if I had Growlithe on the bench, because then I'd be building up this Arcanine here, and that would be my second boss monster out on the field, and I would have another good monster to be able to attack with. At this point, they've lost the battle. I'm just going to attack it, take it out, take these 2 prize cards, and the game is over. And then that's how you play. Well, test your deck in Pokemon TCG, but that's how you learn to play the game. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.